what's the difference of the South America and Europe, the sexuality? You said about the blood is hot in Latin.
Well, yes, regardless that we cannot make generalizations, because always for all rules will be exceptions, but we can say that that Latin American people, it seems like it's more interested in keeping sexuality very alive. But I would like to mention that even if we are aware of it or not, when we want to celebrate life, I mean, it has a relationship with pleasure, with the sexual pleasure. It's very related with the pleasure of living. So it seems like when people stays long periods of time without getting sexually aroused, we say that then that people start walking towards thanatos. I mean, either we are aware or not, we walk to eros or to thanatos.
Yeah.
So eros, or is regarding the Greek god of love and erotism. It means that that when we get sexually aroused, we are more happy for living. We enjoy life because it is related with pleasure, the pleasure of living. But when we start circulating orgasmic energy in our systems for long periods of time, then it seems like then the cells will say, oh, this person does not want to live. This person wants to die. Then what can we do? Well, the people start getting sick and aging at a fast rate, because what we don't use, it seems like it goes, I mean, it starts decaying. So that is why, under the Taoist perspective, we should circulate orgasmic energy in our microcosmic orbit regularly, in order to keep ourselves healthy and delay the aging process. So that's why it's very important for us to cultivate the seminal power and the ovarian power. That's
in Japan. In Japan, we have lots of problem about as we call sexless. Lots of couples sexless, do sex. Especially man looks really how I say
not interested.
Not interested. It's really afraid about the sex, and they don't interested in sex. So what you see? How about other country?
I would like to know the causes of that, because what they don't want is the sex, or they don't want the relationship that could come out of it. I mean, are they afraid of the emotional link between two persons? Because sharing intimacy is not just having sex. It will start having an interrelation with the emotional. So what are the Japanese male afraid of? Or they just want to have sex without getting involved the intimacy, emotional intimacy part, or they don't even open themselves to that possibility, because they are more focused on other facts. So the emotional or the sex itself. Because actually we cannot make a diagnosis in general, because as in the Tao says, each case is unique. So, but it's interesting that it's taking place like a social symptom that male starts not getting interested in sex. But I would like to know if is there a study already about the causes of it? Do you have an idea what could be?
そう、一般化は確かに難しいと思うんですけど、so it's really difficult to how I say the general.
Yes.
But it's I think the sexuality is really connected to the creativity, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, actually creativity is a creation
So
energy.
please continue. Yeah.
Oh yes. Well, that's why we in the Taoism we like we have this proposal of once the male knows how to cultivate the sexual energy, that means the seminal power, because as we know, it could be in one male ejaculation could be from 250 to 500 million of sperms that could create the population of a whole continent. So it's such an amazing amount of energy that goes out from the male's man that that could be a reason why some men don't want to waste all that life force. But once we learn the ejaculation of what we call the big draw, we can get such an amazing pleasure that it could be so high the level of that pleasure that it's no longer sexual pleasure. It turns into an ecstasy state, like we could say a mystic state of consciousness that goes beyond what the porn industry shows, because the fact that the main source of information about sexuality and eroticism is the porn industry, that gives us a very poor idea of what the real sexuology can achieve, because the sexuality achieves the three levels of what we call the three treasures, the sambao, the three treasures. That means the sexual pure energy mixed with love, but the love most of people it uses just the word without even feeling that if it's love, it's unconditional. So if we have a condition to give love, then that is not love, that's something else. But when we love on an unconditional way and get sexually aroused with that person, of course that the experience will be very different. And if we learn how to get the orgasmic energy inside the head, in what we call the crystal chamber, where the higher glands are, that gives us a connection with the spiritual energy in such a way that, of course, a person that have that kind of experiences will completely change their lives, because now they can feel like they are integrated. Because this society, if for example, some religions are very what we call sexophobic, that says you don't have the right to feel pleasure on your genitals, but feel the presence of God in your heart. That it's very complex, because how can I feel in some part of my body and in others don't? So that's crazy. And in the porn industry also caught us, because the message is just feel genitals, don't feel heart, and don't feel spirituality. So we have in front of us a society that I say that really it's a crazy society, but since everybody's crazy, everybody thinks that they are normal because craziness is the normal. because because people usually don't get easily how to get aligned with these three energies in the same time at the same time.
Yeah.
So in such a way that you can be with someone that you feel sexual attracted, but loving the person at the same time and getting into states of consciousness that achieve spiritual energy. That's something that most people have not experienced.
Yeah, yeah,
And it's
yeah.
there. I mean,
Yeah.
always has been there.
Mm, mm.
And so it has been practiced for 5,000 years ago. So how come in which moment we forgot all these sacred teachings that don't tell us how to achieve happiness and fulfillment in all aspects of life? Because something that we have to know is that sexuality is not a part of our life, not even an
So,
important part of our life, but it's the life itself.
yeah, misconception, yeah,
Misconception.
about
Yes.
love and sex. Because of the
Well,
we have a really heavy sex dress, and
understanding that in some part of the history of Japan, sexuality was so open, and no, is that right?
yeah,
I mean, they
so
were like here in Mexico
yeah,
and in
open
Latin America.
Yeah.
We live, the people used to live in a way that we call sexophilic. That means people that feel sexuality is so natural, like
In Japan,
eating
you
healthy,
said you want
drinking clear water, and making exercise. If
yeah.
you want to have a healthy life, well, guess what? You need a healthy sexuality.
そう、なんか
So
ね、ちょっと、そうそうそう。
sexophilic, yes, that's a term that's the way we used to live before the Europeans came to these lands.
Yeah.
And it seems like from that time, the sexophobic way of living, that means rejection about the fact, or the taboo. That means the taboo, the forbidden. We cannot speak openly about sex because it's forbidden. That's a taboo effect. When I say, well, then in that case, then don't talk about nutrition in a country that have weight problems, because if we know that most of people
Yeah.
get sick because they don't know how to use the sexual energy. That's something that most people don't know,
Yeah.
because as Master Chia says, we are born thanks to sex, but also because of sex, because of not knowing how to use that powerful energy and transform it, we get sick and get aged. So that's something that we should change.
Yeah, we should change. Yeah, yeah, yeah. 今ちょっといろいろ緊張したりとかして少し頭が白くなっています。いろんなことが大変。そう、we have only women sexual practice I lead.
Only women sexual
women.
practice.
Yeah, only women. I had a group for only women, so we do sexual practice for a long time. But man doesn't do, because in Japan we don't have a teacher of the how to in what did you say, in draw?
The big draw.
And
yeah, the ejaculation. Or the,
yeah. So what does that mean? So the men and
yes,
women same time. We will have same time in. We will have same time this time. You mean this? I mean this time we have sexual practice same time in November. I mean.
Yes.
So,
Yes.
so yeah, can you talk about what does that mean? So men and women sexual practice the same time.
Oh,
Even
yes. Well, yes. Well, I have to start saying that in the ancient wisdom, sexual wisdom, it is said that the art of love, the art of making love or have sex, it's a female art. So from ancient times, the ones who taught how to make love were women teaching men. But since men got so cocky because of the patriarchal,
what did you say?
Cocky
What is cocky?
Like a rooster. You know how the rooster are very proud of being male.
Chicken. You mean chicken?
In this, no chicken. In the machism or patriarchal society where male have dominated female for many centuries in this what we call the patriarchal society. Then the man in that society is not likely that he will allow himself to learn how to make love from a woman. And but the thing is that we as young penetrate into yin, which is a very dark and mysterious world that we don't understand because we have nothing that in our body compared to a body of a woman. Since the woman has the uterus, and the uterus has the connection with the dimension where the souls are before coming to this planet. That's why sexuality is life itself, and it's thanks to the body of a woman that we are here. That's I mean, or a female of any species. I mean, we say that all females of all species on Earth are very sacred, special beings because they are the bridge between the soul and the matter. So the ancient art of making love always have been taught by women to men. The same happened here in Mexico. There was before the Europeans came. There was a school where female teach how to make love to men. They were called in Nahuatl. They were called Aymawine. That was the name of them, and they were like the priestess that teach how sacred the body of a woman is, and how to touch it in such a way that it was like touching a musical instrument. So when a man knows how to touch the body of a woman like an instrument, a musical instrument, can achieve the highest levels of ecstasy and get in contact with souls that can reach the highest levels of consciousness and light. So that it seems like that art is already gone, and instead of that, we have this industry of the porn industry that is not created to teach. It is created to get sexually aroused for men. It's part of this patriarchal society. So it's very important, I think, that we can get together again and learn how important it is to learn this art, because it will give us health, not just emotional health, but psychological health and spiritual health. We can speak about spiritual health because that's the main reason why, as we know, we get into neurosis and into mental problems because many people have lost the contact with the spirit. I mean, they don't know. They are looking answers in the horizontal world with the five senses, but they have forgotten, or most of people have forgotten, how to get aligned with the spirit, and in such a way that we are in fulfillment in all aspects of our life, and then in that condition I can share that fulfillment with someone that has fulfillment already. Because most of people can get fear because of the relation, what it involves into a relation. But we say you have to find your own formula. The thing that most people, I mean, they believe that we are monogamous by nature. That's not true. Any mammo is monogamous for life. The monogamy thought came with the capitalism. It turns into the possession of someone else, and that's something that we should consider these days, because a lot of people, as you see, is not more interested in getting involved, emotionally involved, and share intimacy with someone else, because they associate it with problems, with conflict. But if a person learns how to be in harmony with himself or herself, then we can share that harmony with someone that it has already that harmony. That's what we do. That's at least that's our intention, and share this with people in order for them to live that harmony within themselves, and in case that they want to share intimacy with someone.
Yes, that's a really important thing, I think. So if we have a translator here, but anyway, he is here.
It's coming. I will give some time.
田村さんの翻訳が入っています。今ね、ジェロニモのお話、すごい面白いと思います。So you are talking about the monogamy and I mean the system of the marriage.
Well, nowadays it's a big conflict, because there are more people getting divorced than that people getting married. That's a big problem now, because most people are less interested in getting married as an institution.
So how about Europe and South America? People are really interested in the marriage system? Marriage?
Well, yes, still, really? Of course, there are a lot of marriages, but we know that they are less than years before, and there are more divorces than before. So that's why something is happening into the consciousness of the planet, that are looking for something different. And as we say, well, there is no a formula for everybody. You need to find your own formula on how you want to get related with someone, if that is the case. But if the reason is for the fear or sharing intimacy with someone, that's something that we should study about the causes of it, because we are meant to achieve very high levels of ecstasy in couple. That's why in the Tao we say, in order for female to get fulfilled, it has to be in presence of yang, and for yang to transcend, it is just when yin cooperates. That's why if a woman is not cooperating to achieve states of ecstasy, it's impossible, because she is the one who has a connection with the spiritual world, thanks to the uterus.
Right. Yes.
Because that space that it's inside that uterus, that it's nothing. Well, but it's not just nothing. It's a special nothing, because life comes out from that nothingness.
Yes. 今すごい面白いところですよ。 ね、今すごい
It's
面
not
白い
just,
ね。
yeah.
I said, this part is really interesting for us, huh?
Yes, because
but yeah,
when a female knows how to align herself in the vertical
yes,
position in which she can get sexually aroused, open the heart unconditionally, and then learn how to get implosions of orgasmic energy inside the head. That
yeah,
means explosion, it's outside. Implosion, it's inside. So
yes,
the art of having implosions of orgasmic energy on the head, that's amazing, that that technique, because we can make that our glands on the head, such as the hypothalamus, the pineal gland, all those glands, when the hypothalamus can have this implosion of orgasmic energy, releases a special substance that we call, well, it was called in the ancient times amrita.
what?
Or
Amrita, okay.
Amrita.
Amrita,
That's
yeah,
the name in
yes,
Sanskrit. And for the Taoists,
yes,
it is the nectar of the gods that achieves immortality.
yeah,
Because they are hormones, but
yes,
not all, simple hormones. They are hormones that come from the head. So most people live a whole life without feeling these substances within their bodies.
yeah,
And these substances, they give bliss, they give happiness,
yes,
they give youth, they give all kinds of blessings. I mean, there's no way to take out the smile of a person that releases those substances. They
yeah,
will go to work like happy, and they will say, "Well, why you're so happy?" Because that person is aligned with eros and
yeah,
with love and with
yeah,
spiritual energy.
yeah, yeah. So we are really how I say, a really good opportunity to have exercise together then, this time.
Of course, yes, because usually in my seminars, uh, don't separate male from men, because it can generate the taboo effect. No,
Yeah.
what are they telling the
So
women? Would say, what are they telling to the men that we cannot hear? And on the other way, the male will say, oh, what are they telling to female that we are not allowed to hear? That can generate the taboo effect. So no,
yeah. So what you think? How different from Tantra and Taoist sexual exercise? What's the
well,
difference?
they're very very different,
Yeah.
because well, for beginning, it's very hard to track the lineages from Tantra, pure
Yeah.
lineages, because we have a big problem
Lineages.
now. We
なんだって?
have a big problem now with this neo Tantra, because it seems like they have such a big lagoons in the information of the inner structure. Actually, many of them don't even speak about how to transform the seminal power, or how to transform the ovarian power. They don't even mention that. So
Yeah.
what kind of
Yeah,
alchemy
you're
are
right.
we going to make?
Yeah. That's a
So
really different
the
point,
alchemy,
right?
yes, because we
Yeah.
need an inner structure. That's why we focus on the inner structure. That's Qigong.
Yeah.
That we, in order to make the alchemy, we need to transform the lead, which is the what we well the sexual energy itself,
So that
because it seems like
yeah,
any
right.
culture in the world had so clear the inner structure of the sexual alchemy as the Chinese.
Yeah.
But we have to
Yes.
remember that it was a secret. Even
Yes. That's
of
right.
course, it wasn't a secret, because even the emperor Huan Ti said these teachings they are not allowed for the people. Because if the people know these teachings, how can we manipulate them?
Right.
You see, how can we manipulate people? Because if we associate guilt or that sex is dirty or block it, well, the people will be attached, will not be free. But people that can get into an ecstasy state, of course, well, that people will not be manipulated ever, because they contact themselves with the spiritual energy.
Yeah, so that's a really different point from the Tantra and Tao, right?
Well, we can say that we share a lot of things, and the people that practice Tantra, they can practice because they have such a big amount of beautiful practices also, but with this inner structure of the Tao, because it's like giving a man, a sexual man, for example, the Kama Sutra. You give the Kama Sutra to a man that ejaculates within 1 minute. What good is it for that man? The Kama Sutra is not good at all, because he has not inner structure. What can he do with? He can have the whole catalog of sexual positions, but he will not be able to use them because lack of inner structure.
So that only the Tao has an inner structure, right?
Well, I cannot say that, because the thing is that because also Tantra is supposed to have inner structure, but I can tell you that with all these years that I have taken also all the Tantra seminars and workshops that I could, there is not a clear technique for the ejaculation. And actually, one of the risks of the practice when it's not well done is what we call the Kundalini Syndrome. The Kundalini Syndrome. There are many risks. I mean, for people that want to do the practice without a proper instruction, it could start with even inflammation of the testicles, inflammation of the prostate gland, or the Kundalini Syndrome, which is a headache and a very hard headache and tachycardia, let's say high blood pressure, that because they lack of the Tantien Qigong. If we do, it's very important for us to cultivate the Tantien Qigong. That's one of the main, what we could say, the clue, one of the clues for the proper inner structure. And so if the people don't have that part, they are in risk of starting transforming sexual energy, but with these kind of problems.
Yeah. So thank you so much for the talking. So we already spent the 1 hours. So can you message to us, to Japanese people? So welcome to our workshop for the.
Oh yes.
Yeah.
Of course. I would love.
Your first time to Japan. Huh?
Yes, my first time in Japan. It will be a whole adventure for me. I'm so excited to go there and share what I can do for Japanese people. But I can tell you that yes, if we have this inner structure that Grandmaster Mantak Chia shares so with so in abundance, so. I'm so grateful with him because he's so generous with all these techniques that were hidden from everybody for centuries. So having access to this information, I can tell you that will transform positively the life of the Japanese. I hope so. And I hope to see a lot of them over there.
So today's talking is really interesting. So if we had I will Dana, my friend, the translator, he is really good writing now, the typing now.
Oh, yes.
So I will write down later. of him
Okay.
is in translation.
Okay.
Yeah.
And thank you
So,
very much to
yeah,
Yoichi
thank you so
Tamura.
much.
Tamura. Thank you
Yes.
very much. I hope to see you soon.
そう、皆さん遅くまでお付き合いいただいて本当にありがとうございました。今日なんか私多分きっとなんかさっき気がついたんですけど、なんかのアプリかなんかを入れて3人で喋るんだよね、きっとね。でそのアプリとかがちょっと分かんなくて、旦那にも、そう非常に苦労を、トランスレーターさんにも非常に苦労をかけておりますが、すごく本当にどうもありがとうございます。
Thank you very much, Tarika. I look forward to see you there. ありがとうございました。
So see you soon.
See you soon. Bye bye.
Bye bye.